We all make promises every single day. I promise I'll call you back. Promise I'll pay you back for lunch. But when does a simple promise like that cross a line and become something the law will actually enforce? It's a huge question, and it gets right to the heart of how our society works. Today, we're going to find the answer.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? When does that informal handshake deal turn into a rock-solid, legally binding contract? Well, to figure this out, we're going to use a fantastic guide, the Contract Act of Bhutan from 2013. This act basically gives us the blueprint for how a simple promise can become a legal reality.
So what even is a contract when you strip it all down? Well, the law in Bhutan gives us this really elegant, simple way to think about it. Section 16 of the Act tells us that a contract is, at its core, an agreement that the law is willing to stand behind.
And here it is, straight from the source. An agreement enforceable at law is a contract. It sounds so simple, right? But it's incredibly powerful. That key phrase, enforceable at law, that's where all the magic happens. So let's break down how we get there.
Okay, think of it like this. You can't build a sturdy house without a foundation, walls, and a roof, right? Well, it's pretty much the same thing with a legally recognized agreement. You need 3 essential building blocks. If you get these 3 things right, you've built something that's going to stand up. So, your first building block is the proposal. This is the starting gun. It's when you clearly tell someone else what you're willing to do. So imagine you go to your friend and say, hey, I will sell you my bicycle for 10,000 Nuntrum. That clear offer, made because you're hoping for a yes, that's a proposal. The second block is acceptance. And here is a super important detail. The acceptance has to be unconditional. Your friend can't come back and say, sure, but I'll only pay you 8,000. That's not acceptance. That's actually a brand new proposal going back the other way. Real acceptance is just a clear, straightforward, yes, I'll buy your bike for 10,000 Nuntrum. No ifs, ands, or buts.
And the final, absolutely crucial block is consideration. This is the what's in it for me part for both sides. It's the value that gets exchanged. In our bike example, the consideration is the bicycle from you and the 10,000 in Nuntrum from your friend. It's the price each of you is paying for the other person's promise.
So let's put all the pieces together. You make a proposal, sell the bike, your friend gives a clear, unconditional acceptance, you both exchange consideration, the bike for the cash, and boom, just like that, you've gone way beyond a casual promise. You've actually formed a binding agreement.
But hold on, it's not enough to just have the 3 building blocks. Just like any construction project has to follow building codes, a contract has its own set of rules. We have to know who's allowed to play the game and what kinds of deals are completely off limits.
Now, the law has a specific word for this. It's called being competent. So who does the Contract Act of Bhutan actually consider competent? Legally capable of making a promise that sticks?
Well, Section 20 lays out 3 really common sense conditions. First, you have to be an adult. You've reached the age of majority. Second, you have to be of sound mind, meaning you actually understand what you're agreeing to. And third, you can't be disqualified for some other legal reason. This is all about making sure the playing field is fair and protecting people who might be vulnerable.
The other huge rule is about the object or the purpose of the agreement. It has to be lawful. A contract to sell apples, totally fine. But what if the whole point of the deal is to commit fraud, or it's immoral, or it breaks another law? Yeah, that agreement is dead on arrival. It's invalid from the very start.
And that brings us to this really interesting category, void agreements. These are deals that, because of public policy, the law just says are unenforceable, right from the get-go. They're like trying to build from a blueprint that ignores the laws of physics. It's just never going to work.
Okay, let's do a little quick fire round. First scenario, what if you make an agreement to completely stop someone from working in their chosen legal profession? Is that enforceable?
The Act is crystal clear. Section 39 says that agreement is void. And it makes sense, right? The law wants to encourage people to work and earn a living, not stop them. It protects that fundamental right.
All right, how about this one? Let's say we sign a contract where I agree to discover a new color for you, an agreement to do something that is literally, physically impossible.
You probably saw this one coming. Section 44 steps in and says, nope, that is void. The law doesn't waste its time trying to enforce the impossible. And for our last one, this one sometimes catches people by surprise. A contract where one person agrees not to get married or to prevent another adult from getting married. What do you think the law says about that? Once again, absolutely void. Section 49 is very clear that the freedom to marry is a basic personal right, and any contract that tries to take that away from an adult is totally unenforceable.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's that a contract is so much more than just a casual promise. It's a special kind of promise, one built carefully with the right parts, proposal, acceptance, consideration, and one that follows the rules, made by people who are able to make them for a lawful purpose. And if you're ever wondering why all these rules even exist, the Act's own introduction, its preamble, tells you everything. It's all about creating a system that's fair, predictable, and ensures that the rights of everyone involved are protected.
When you really think about it, contract law is what allows our entire society to function on a massive scale. It takes something as personal as giving your word and transforms it into a reliable, public framework of trust that we can all build on.
So here's a thought to leave you with. The next time you buy a coffee or agree to help out a friend for a little cash, just pause for a second. Is that just a casual promise you're making, or did you just build a contract without even realizing it? As you now know, the answer might just surprise you.